Hello and welcome to the channel.
We are the Music Noobs Official.
And welcome to the first podcast.
Okay, so basically the topics we're discussing today are why we like K-pop so much, how did we get into K-pop, and why we decided to start a YouTube channel based off of it.
Yeah, so one of the first reasons why we got into K-pop was because of our declining interest in the normal pop industry here in America.
Yeah, the Western music was kind of stagnant for us in a way.
Yeah, a lot of our favorite artists were just not making music and stuff like that. So it kind of contributed to us being discouraged, you know.
Yeah.
On top of that too is the vast diversity of songs that you get in the K-pop industry. So, you know, you get like a bunch of different genres. It's not just stuck to one simple thing.
Stuck to one-dimensional type of music.
Yeah, and the more you discover, the more you realize that really these artists, they take from like a lot of popular
different
music
cultures and stuff.
Yeah. And then on top of that too is to add to that is the consistency.
Yeah, the consistency of their albums itself, the songs they produce, how consistent they produce, and as well as their live performances.
Yeah, I mean, even if they're not having a debut per se, they'll make sure to make a lot of content. They go on talk shows, things like that. So there's always content for the fan bases, you know, that they can look forward to.
Yeah.
And then even when they're about to make a song too, teasers and a bunch of posts and all that kind of stuff. It really keeps you like in the loop.
And they're also hardworking, like the idols themselves. They work really hard as trainees, their rookie stages, and then just climbing up the ladder, basically.
Yeah, I mean, that trainee stage is such a hard time in their lives. And it's also never a for sure thing as well too.
Exactly.
But they're still, you know, they're always trying to work towards their dreams, their goals, all that kind of stuff. So when they do make it as an actual idol, you know, hard work and dedication is something that has been built into them.
Exactly.
That they've trained for. So that's why, you know, that's why we ended up liking K-pop as well too.
Yeah, and then on top of just the teasers and stuff like that, their engagement with the fans through the teasers, through the promotion, and through platforms like VLive, all come into play whenever they engage with fans, and that's really what most fans want from their artists.
Yeah, I mean, things such as streaming is already so big, and it's so cool to have your artists like streaming to you, you know, and you get to make comments and talk to them and stuff real time. On top of that too, things like fan meets, fan signs, you know, it's not just quickly sign an autograph and go home.
Yeah, exactly.
You get to talk to them for a good, like, however long it is.
Yeah.
They really do engage with you. You can bring them stuff, things like that. And then also too, that whole event, fan meeting, fan signing.
Yeah, it's not just the autograph signing and stuff.
Yeah.
They get to communicate with the fans after all of that is done.
And even play games, you know, talk to them, just make jokes, things like that. You know, really showing love and support for the fans. On top of that too, one of the reasons why we got into K-pop was just the general global exposure that K-pop is getting nowadays. It's really cool. It's really cool that K-pop is stepping into another realm, and some groups are really carrying forward that tradition, I guess.
Yeah, they're going from just national to international, building their fan bases, and that's mainly how K-pop now is so popular, or why it's so popular.
Yeah, and speaking of the fan bases too, all of these groups have such amazing fan bases. I mean, K-pop in general, when it comes to the fan aspect of it, is great. I mean, it's great to be a fan. It's great to fall in line with the fan base. You know, the fan bases are so supportive of each other. You know, you get other people to kind of geek out with about that one group. Yeah, so that's a great experience. Great experience, you know.
The next topic is like, how did we actually get into K-pop? And
yeah, so the major thing that got us into K-pop in the first place was through League of Legends. If you guys, any of you know that popular, you know, online game League of Legends, us being major, you know, nerds for the game. Nerds for the game. A few years ago, for the finals tournament, Riot, which is the company that makes League of Legends, they produced a song, a group, KDA. They did Pop Stars. That was the song. And in that group of 4 female artists, 2 of them were from a K-pop group. So the song, of course, had some Korean or K-pop aspects to it, and that just started the interest right there.
Yeah.
Like, the rap line. Yeah, the rap line was the first thing really in there. Yeah. That started with a bunch of Korean being added to it, and I'm just like, wow, like you can't understand it, but oh my gosh,
the rap sounds good.
Yeah, the rap is great. And then of course the singing as well too. One of them was the main vocalist for the group. Awesome, it was just awesome.
Yeah, then that's also, it kind of changed our concept of what K-pop actually was.
Yeah.
Rather than just poppy.
Yeah, there's just some general stigmas around K-pop, especially here in the US. Like when you talk to somebody or just mention K-pop for the first time. It's a little iffy at first, but once you get into it, it's not what you think it is.
Your mental kind of changes based off of like what you're actually listening to now.
Yeah, so that song really did that for us.
Yeah, and then also the song itself is popular internationally, and so that kind of gave us a chance to listen to it a lot more.
Yeah, definitely. And then from there, both of us, like our interest in K-pop, it grew in slightly different directions.
Yeah, for me personally, I started listening to a lot of BTS right off the bat, and that's because of friends suggesting like the Wings album to me whenever it first came out. And I never really gave it a chance, but once I started listening to K-pop through KDA and stuff, I was like, okay, let me give BTS a shot, since they're the only group I really knew.
Yeah, and I mean that's an amazing album. So yeah, what an album to start on,
Yeah, to start on Wings, and then Love Yourself Here with Fake Love. Like Fake Love is probably the first song I actually like fell in love with.
Yeah, one of the best songs. I mean, it's a legendary song at this point. For me, coming straight from KDA, of course, Idol, the girl group Idol, Soyeon and Miyeon were both in the KDA, and they're both from the same K-pop group. So I immediately just followed that route and saw a couple of their songs. And same thing too. You kind of at first maybe you're not 100% into it, and then after listening to it a couple times, then you really start developing like an interest in the music and what it's all about and everything. So that's how I ended up getting into that group and even more into K-pop.
Yeah, true.
And then what ended up happening too, Idol actually covered Fake Love by BTS. So for both of us, we ended up, getting into each other's group, and getting into Idol and getting into BTS.
Yeah, like he showed me the music video of G-Idol performing Fake Love on, what was it, Mnet?
Yeah, in Taipei.
Yeah. I listened to it, I was like, wow, they really killed the song. Yeah. Even if it's just like a cover, they really killed it, and we kind of exchanged our cards.
Yeah, our fanship cards for like a second.
Yeah, that's good. And then through that, we also started discovering more groups on top of that, more solo artists.
Mostly solo artists.
Yeah, mostly solo artists, based off of just collabs they've done, or the artists we like, the collabs they've done with other solo artists. That's how we kind of branched out.
Yeah. And in general, that trend just keeps happening. You like this one artist, they collab with someone else, so then you follow that artist, they collab with someone else. All songs that you're loving, and it just keeps expanding from there. So you find so many different artists, so many different groups even. Maybe one member from a group just did like a solo project with someone else, so then you end up following that whole group because of it.
And then on top of that, you're doing all this through YouTube and other apps that would suggest new artists for you to listen to, not related to K-pop, but not related to other artists that you already know. So it just becomes like a huge tree that you have now of just so much of like artists.
Yeah, definitely. So we told you about why we are interested in K-pop and how we got into it. The other thing we wanted to talk about was why do this channel or covers in general. So it really started in the first place way back when we were first learning our instruments and stuff. we were already really heavily into anime. Still are.
Yeah, we still are.
Yeah, still are.
We just watched Haikyuu the other day.
Oh man,
binged it.
Haikyuu. Watch Haikyuu if you have not seen it. It's a vlog.
If you're anime fans,
yeah. If you're not, then disregard.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it started back then. You know, we were learning new instruments. We already have a love of anime. Anime's already got such a big music scene as it is. People already were covering anime songs back then too. So we're just like, oh man, it'd be cool if we could learn our instruments and do that. Yeah. So we tried doing that. Obviously, with any instrument, when you start, you're not that good.
Yeah, we weren't really that good at all.
Yeah. We have some slightly tragic experiences about that too. But
I wouldn't say tragic.
Yeah, but we tried, and we realized that we kind of needed some solo time to develop our skills on the instrument first, and then we could do things.
So we took a pretty long break, about a year and a half break.
If not more, yeah.
More probably, just because once we got into K-pop, we were still on our break. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't until probably a few months, like about a year, almost a year break after getting into K-pop, we started deciding, okay, we can start covering K-pop instead. And
instead of trying to cover an anime song, we decided, let's try this K-pop song, because we know the songs so well. Let's try this K-pop song, let's try this one, let's try that one, different groups, different songs that we love, and from there it kind of took off. We were making some really good arrangements. It was all recorded on our phone, and then after a while we were like, this would be cool if we could record better audio.
Exactly.
And then present the music to people who probably want that sort of thing. Maybe you're just studying on your way to work or something, or back from work, and you just want an instrumental version of the song that you like. On top of that too, you're also upping the artists themselves too, promoting them.
Yeah, you're promoting them and just through your music, because other people will be interested in that artist based off of like the music they're hearing.
Yeah.
So they'll be like, let me check the original thing because it's probably better.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The original is always better. Always support the original.
Yeah. And then on top of that, we just got a lot of inspiration from other YouTube channels who were doing that same thing. Mm-hmm. Just like piano cover. If it was just piano covers, a girl covering the song, it's just like we kind of wanted to do that too, to improve ourselves and then also to promote the artists.
Yeah, and it's also just a fun thing, all this is just for fun at the end of the day. It's a way to blow off steam, it's something for us to do in our free time. It's a lot of fun, but we're also, we love the fact that we're promoting the artists that we like, and also helping people find those artists as well too. Yeah. On top of that too, we had a little experience in recording the more professional softwares. Mm-hmm. So thanks to that little bit of experience, I told Derren, we could do this sort of thing.
Yeah, we could
get some more professional sounding recordings.
Yeah, it wouldn't just be straight from phone audio or just phone recording. We could actually take whatever recording we have and then put it into the software and then make it more professional sounding than how we started.
Yeah, and then once we realized that we could do good recordings, and we're like, what if we add drums to it? What if we add something that sounds original to it? So then we got into that, and then of course it just keep branching all the way to the point now that we're actually making our own instruments from scratch that sound similar to the original recording. Trying to figure out how they made those sounds in the first place, and then adding it to our version to get that same feeling from the song, even though it is an instrument.
Yeah, exactly. Basically, our concept is we're just taking whatever instrumentals are there, creating our own in the same way, and then instead of voices, we're just using our instruments to create the melody.
Yeah, trying to get that same feel from the song, but it really is an instrumental version, fully instrumental version.
Yeah, and we feel that it could.
Yeah, it'll cut everything.
I was gonna bring up study again.
No, that's alright, we already mentioned it.
Okay, we can Alright everyone, that concludes our podcast number 1. We will that concludes our first podcast for our channel. We hope you at least found interest in our topics that we discussed. Even though it was more about ourselves, we will be planning to discuss more in-depth topics about
Maybe
K-pop industry.
Yeah, about K-pop or even music things in general. Maybe even some tips here and there of how we do our music, like how we build things, and that'll help some of you out there trying to aspire to do the same thing as well.
And if you have any suggestions on what kind of topics you want us to talk about, or what kind of songs in the future you want us to cover for like our main purpose, then you can always shoot a comment down below and we'll read it.
Yeah, and if you don't enjoy the podcast at all, then just leave some constructive criticism.
Yeah.
And we'll make some changes.
Yeah, and if you just don't want us to do podcasts at all, we'll stop.
Yeah, nothing's stopping us from stopping, but it's all up to you guys. If you made it all the way to the end of the video, thank you so much. Make sure to leave a comment. Leave the word pineapple.
Yes, pineapple if you made it to the end of the video.
Yeah, that way we know.
That way we know.
Yeah. Well, guys, that's pretty much it. We are the Music Noobs, and always remember,